Hey, Donald, they think they're going to put you in jail. It's time for you to give them those magic words.
You're fired. Get out of here.
Yeah, they might call you a...
You dick!
But
you dick!
You just have to do it. You have to. You have to just tell them, look, man, you're
fired. Get out of here.
And then we're ready.
Gentlemen, prepare to defend yourselves.
That's it. So you need to start firing, Donald. You need to start sending down the notices. There's this old book. Good, a bearing, or good behavior in common law, signifies an exact carriage and behavior of a subject to the king and his liege people, whereinto men upon their evil course of life, or loose behavior, or four times or sometimes bound. One bound to this is more strictly bound than to the peace. It's for the peace we bind you. Donald, you go ahead and you tell them.
You're fired. Get out of here.
Yeah, well, and if they don't want to leave, where you are.
Gentlemen, prepare to defend yourselves.
We are ready to defend ourselves. Look, you gotta expect them to say,
you dick!
But, so, if they go up past that, we'll deal with it. You know, everybody who reads history knows the script now, man. We're playing on the same page. Got this old dictionary. I'm looking up bad, bail. Balaam. The plural number of Baal, or Baal, a god of the Phoenicians and Sumerians. Balaam. You know, dear Lord, thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for the internet and this most amazing library. Because, in all honesty, what my governor, he doesn't deserve allegiance. I have no liege. He is not my allegiance. No. He discussed keeping infants alive and discussing what they're going to do with it. Not with any government, but see, it was the same kind of, not the government types that were putting people in the gulags up in Russia. Psychologists, physicians. It's a sad state of affairs. It is because of the Royal Institute, and it's in charge. It does the accreditations and hands out the franchises, and they decide what is true and what is not. Irrelevant. It's still the same debating society that it always has been. There's certain subjects that are against the rules. Not allowed to talk about them, bring them up. But Balaam, that's what we're dealing with here in the United States of America. We have Balaam going on. You know, passing your children through the fire, killing your firstborn. And the person who is, well, supposed to keep the tyrants down, but the tyrant got the fuck back up. Balaam. Oh, God. There you go. Baonites. I don't know if you can see these. Christians. Christian heretics. So, the followers of one Banis, who taught the errors of the Manichaeans in the 9th century. Bacchanals, drunken feasts, or revels of Bacchus. Bacchius is a foot in Latin, verse consisting of 3 syllables. The first short and the 2 last long. Bacchaeus is a foot in Latin. Verse. Latin verse. Bacchaeferum are such plants or trees as bearberries. Okay. There's no word bad here in this dictionary. No bad. But this is a great fucking goddamn motherfucker right here, man. I am so on this. $62. Costume. $62. There we go. I own it. I own that one. All right. Good A-bearing or good behavior. There's no such. It's Balaam behavior. Evil course of life or loose behavior, sometimes bound. And how long you stay bound, well, I don't know. Donald, you need to get it across to everybody that the bureaucracy...
You're fired. Get out of here.
We got your back, man. But they're still rattling. The Balaam are attacking our embassies in Iraq. The Balaam are led by people who associated with Obama's White House. Well, you know, they signed it to go into it. So, go to faith. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E. F. Faint. Feces. Faith. That's what I want. In general, is an effect of the mind to things. Whole truth only depends upon the testimony of others. Christian faith is an assent of the mind to all things delivered in Holy Scriptures as the testimony of God Almighty. Well, God's testimony is the only one that can't be false, right? Or does God speak truth? And false? All the time? Everybody's using the word fact truth. Jesus fucking Christ. Do something about it. Faith. Well, hold on. Yeah, a fairy, a goblin, or phantom, or phantasm. 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 Phantom. Tufts. Phantom. The Spencer. Phantom. Phantom. I'm trying to figure out whether or not the F and M, how I pronounce it. But yeah, man, to call somebody a fairy is very descriptive. They're a goblin. Alex Jones has a picture of him has a video of him being chased down by what he called the goblin. A goblin. That he's also a fairy. Okay, in general, faith in general is an assent of the mind to things. Whole truth only depends to faith upon the testimony of others. Whose truth only depends. Okay, faith in general is an assent of the mind to things whose truth only depends upon the testimony of others. All right, malevolent faith. So what the Democrats have done by bringing in testimony believe that testimony, their minds have assent to it, and they base what they think is truth on that. Whose truth? But they're acting in bad faith. And it wasn't real testimony. It was a narrative and limited questions. But everybody got to see what it was. Faith. Now, this is 1600, man. Faith. That's what's going on. Bad faith. Using people's testimony that was false. That's bad faith. But there is no word bad. This Balaam. There is Balaam. Back in the 16th century, 17th century, 1600s. Balaam. The people, many Baals. Wow, what a goblin. But bad exists in 1828. Bad. Evil opposed to good. Baal. So now oh, come on. El Pewter. Balium. Now. Ball. There, okay. Let's see, he's in. Representing the sun. Baal. The word signifies also Lord or commander, and the character of the idol was varied by different nations at different times. Thus, Baal Berith is supposed to signify the Lord of the covenant. Baal Peor, or rather Baal Figor, the Lord of the dead. Baal Zebub, the god of flies. Okay. Wow, this is a little more enlightened. Baal. That's it. There is no other suggestions. So in 200 years, Balium disappeared and became, I think it became bad. My hypothesis is we know that Balium is bad. It's just bad. We've been divorced from truth, from knowledge. Balaam, a golem. Balaam, yep. We're on that too. I don't think it exists in 1828. I went on to faith. To persuade, to trust, fides, fido, to trust. Bona fides, faith. Balaam. Donald, you should tweet out the Balaam is going to be rooted out from American. Balaam. Oh, okay, let's see. Now. Balmy. Maybe we'll see what that is. Producing balm. Having the qualities of balm. Soothing. Fragrant. Mitigating. God, this weather is so balmy. Balmy, yeah, having the qualities of balm, being heavy, producing balmy tree. Balm, producing balm as the balmy tree. Soothing, soft, mild as balmy slumbers. Fragrant, odoriferous. Balmy wings, mitigating. I want some balmy wings, man. Give me some fragrant chicken wings. I'm hungry. So, I'm going to gather you think this is a word, buddy. So I'm going to look. I need more coffee. Balaam is a diviner in the Torah whose story begins in chapter 22 of the book of Numbers. Yeah, did you know yesterday they had, quote, 90,000 people in New Jersey at the stadium, and they just happened to be of the Jewish culture, where it was the last day of reading the Talmud, a 7.5-year project, and they're gladly doing it all over America. 90,000 Jews showed up to read the last reading of the Talmud. The last paragraph, the last whatever Jewish word it is. Beor is not clearly identified. Ah. Dude, you're the sojourn of the Israelites into the plains of Moab. Yeah, man, I know about Moab. We dropped those some bitches in Afghanistan. We put Moabs on the ground. east of the Jordan River. At the close of 40 years of wandering, shortly before the death of Moses and the crossing of the Jordan. Yeah, well, we didn't discuss that too much in Catholic school. CCD didn't go into a great deal of it. It was basically learn this little bit of a ritual, and they were supposed to be sermons, but there weren't sermons. It was, where do you start? Where, you know? They should have just had us just start reading from the beginning. And then if we had a question about something, ask it. I don't know. I wasn't in charge. So, buckshot. Guess what the golden rule is in 1600s? We'll see what Webster thinks it is. Yeah. Does not exist in his world. Not even, it doesn't, the golden rule doesn't exist. Yeah, golden rule. Guess what it means in the 1600s? Can you see? Okay, I'll stop it. It means rule of 3 calculator. It's in the Archives dictionary from 1600s. Yeah, the rule of 3 calculator uses the mathematical rule of 3, a method of having 3 numbers to help calculate the unknown to solve the proportions. Ah, cool. Proportions of a triangle. Maybe. A over B equals C over X. Ah. Yeah, man. $3.45. 345. Oh yeah, man. Isn't that how you do square up a corner? 345 is squaring a corner up. Yeah, I learned about that, man. I learned about that in shop. I learned about that in creating right angles. How to make a right angle, man. Yeah, man. I learned about that back in the day, man. 2nd grade. First grade was the first time that we started to word problems. That's what first grade was for me, where we started word problems. And the study of truth. What was true, what was false. And the word and it was all based on 1 or 0. We learned binary in first grade. And then we learned how to Pearson VU got 350 mil from Barry. Barry Satoro. Pearson CEO kicks 65. Yeah, back to Barry. Then resigns. Yeah, I of course, that was all done in faith. Obama knew. Biden's Biden's reverse speech said that the United States is gone. Donald Trump, in his reverse speech, screams, "Hey, wake up!" So it's all. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and of course, they say to me, Virginians they're just not going to tolerate this. Now, the fact that the majority, such a grand majority of counties said that, yeah, you know what, we're not going to have war on our land. So go fight in the counties you want to fight. Go disarm those people in the counties. Maybe, see, I think comes the 8th, they need to just close off all the roads. That's lobby day. The day they get sworn in. All right, guys, do what you're going to do. Well, that's why Obama can afford beachfront property, knowing that the beach is going to wipe his house out. He's funny, man. Then resigns. Well, I don't care. For a book deal. Barry resigns for a book deal. No, Pearson. So I'm going to assume you got that from a story. Interesting. Yeah. I'm still pondering the good and the bad and the ugly. So right now I have a theory that Balaam, many balls, Baals, the gods, because that's what Northam thinks he is. He's a fairy, but he thinks he's a god, and you know. Oh. Parson got 35. Oh, wow. That's not much of a kickback. Con man. Dude, you got to practice. Oh, I see. You put parentheses around it. I can't say, hey, you should have proofread it, man. It's con man. Thanks for making me laugh, man. I appreciate it. So, golden rule, and also, there's no God in 1600 dictionary. Didn't define God. Uses the word God, maybe. So, for those who have taken the evil course of life, now, loose behavior is a high standard, man. But the fact that you want to force us to accept your loose behavior, well, I guess I'm going to have to say you just couldn't be happy keeping it to yourself. So, at the point you want me to accept your loose behavior or tell me what I have to accept, that's pretty evil of you. So, you've taken an evil course once you throw it in my face and get mad at me if I don't accept it. You know? Or if I hate it or I'm afraid of it. You know, I'm allowed to be afraid. You know, calling somebody a homophobe and expecting them to wince. Ha ha. Ha ha. I saw the new series put out by Kevin Hart. And he just didn't say the right magic phrase. And the people he was with didn't give him the right phrase. But after, I guess, a year of fucking with him about it, the loose behavior people, instead of, he wasn't supposed to address the homophobe part. He was supposed to address the hurt and the violence that has occurred. But there is no violence in what he did. There was no violence. It was a joke. The violence. He didn't commit any violence against any homosexuals. So, but he didn't say the right words. He just didn't do it right. And now they've decided what the right words are for him to say, is that he has to condemn violence. Well, yeah, I condemn all violence. I condemn violence by goblins who don't like what they hear against those who speak. Yeah. That's a question that has not been addressed. And what's interesting is that when I talk to people who are running for sheriff throughout Virginia, they all pretended Antifa did not exist, and they just looked at me with round eyes. Sort of like, what's his name does? The Adam Shifty Eyes. They do that. And it's a way of unfocusing for me. If I do that, I'm not focused. I've got it's like somebody rubs Vaseline on a lens. So maybe that's why he does that, so he's not distracted. He's not really listening to you. He's turned you off. He's turned off his sight without closing his eyes. Maybe that's what Shift is doing. He's doing the I can't hear you, I can't see you. So, good behavior. Balaam. Every ancient reference to Balaam considers him a non-Israelite, a prophet and the son of a Beor, though Beor is not clearly identified. A Beor? Who's say? Duck, duck, go. Bor is a name which appears in relation to a king and a diviner. Because the two names vary only by a single letter, scholars have hypothesized that the two refer to the same person. So, it is evil to think of yourself as God on earth. Right? Maybe. I don't know. I would have to ask somebody else if I cared to. Goodly head. Goodness. Goof wing. In navigation is a sail fitted up so as the ship sailing before the wind or with a quarter wind and in a fresh gale may make the more way. See, they use F as S, and so I got to figure out whether if the F is an S or it's an F, depending on its location. Back in the 1600s, and my brain goes into complete fart. It's a good exercise. I imagine I'm slowing down the Alzheimer's from all the cans that I've drank from, right? Just by doing this. Gorse, the shrub commonly called firs. Shrub commonly called firs. Gorse. Or goss. And that's GOFS. I know. And a diviner. Bela, son of Bor, Hebrew. Oh, it's all about the Jews. Oh, well. You know what I find funny is that Donald Trump actually signed a piece of paper saying that you can't teach the history but the accepted history when it comes to the Semites. The Semites. Wait a minute. Ain't no doubt. Let's see what Golden says. Excellent. Most valuable. The golden rule. Ah, there it is. But he didn't define what a golden rule was. So it's just a broad term used in generality to a subject. So what's the golden rule of HVAC? I don't know. If there is one. Happy, pure as the golden age. Ah. So much more enlightened, the 1828 dictionary, when it comes to inference. So I guess he didn't want to waste paper and pen, ink, because to list all the golden rules that people have said, I mean, top 100, how many golden rules are there? Oh, here. Not slip the golden opportunity. Preeminently favorable or auspicious. Golden number. In chronology, a number showing the year of the moon cycle. So that's the first one. Golden rule. In arithmetic, the rule of 3 or rule of proportion. Then there's the golden rule on how to treat people, right? What's the golden rule? Treat others as you want to be treated. So Schiff actually wants Trump to investigate him. Schiff is in Nadler and all these Democrats. By investigating Trump the way they did, they actually want Trump to investigate them. So, investigate me, Donald. They want to be investigated. They want to be held accountable. They can't believe that they got away with it. Gomorrabine, a sodomite, a buggerer. Gomorrabine. Oh, yeah, man. Gomorrabine. Gomorrabine. Gonorrhea. Gonorrhea. Flux or the flowing of the seed without any erection of the penis. Called the running of the rains. A disease called the running of the rains. Yeah. Gomorrhean. From Gomorrah. They don't have that listed. Gomorrah is not listed. It's a Semite. I guess because Gomorrhean, a sodomite. Gomorrhean. Yep. That's Pete Buttigieg, a sodomite, a buggerer. But Gomer, G-O-M. Just doesn't exist. I guess because they put it in the definition, they don't give it its own line from Gomorrah. Or maybe this is not a Latin dictionary, but they have Greek. Because they have Gonagera, the gout in the knee, and it says GR, so I don't know. I think it's Greek. Medicine was in Greek, right? Yep. I saw that bayonet came in at the end yesterday. Sorry I missed you, buddy. I guess, he doesn't get up until then or what have you. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. God and His creatures, chapter 5, the angels. The creatures most like God, the angels, show forth best the goodness, the majesty, the glory of God. These are His most perfect images, and so the ones to be multiplied with divine extravagance. Heaven and earth are indeed full of His glory, because the angels are bodiless creatures, pure spirits. It is too often concluded that they are supernatural beings. They are not. God is the only supernatural being. The angels are natural beings. They belong in and indeed dominate our world. They are creatures as natural as oaks, or as sunsets, or birds, or men. To call them supernatural because they are not like ourselves is a part of that provincial pride by which a man puts human nature at the peak of the universe, primarily because he himself is a man. So you man is not man. Man is not you man. It puts man's nature would have been in tune. So human is the fallen man. At least that's the inference that I get from this my way of life. Yeah, today's the day I woke up and trying to sort the world out again, trying to figure out, a friend of mine I was speaking, and he said, it's just, what you gonna do? It's just over and over and over, Yep. 350 million from Barry, and Barry got back 65 million. Well, yeah, that's pretty common. That's what was going on with the money being sent to Ukraine. They're just much more greedier than Republicans. It's irony, because the Democrats waste all their breath screaming how greedy capitalism is when they don't use capitalism, they use bribes. Capitalism is basically, for the most part, good faith, right? I mean, you can have evil in capitalism, and that's where we have to step in and stop somebody when they're getting malevolent. But to use the violence of a bureaucracy to put the money in your pocket, wow, that's pretty bad. That's godlike. It's Balaam. Satanic. Balaam. Yeah. Balaam. God will talk with you with the mother, and they'll decide what they're going to do with that infant. Because that's what's really this is all about. And he wants to do it without you stopping him, because he knows that as soon as he actually roasts a baby on the governor's lawn, good chances are that's the end for him. So if he gets caught birthing a child and then slaughtering it because the mother says, well, I don't want it, that'd be the end of him. And the only way he can get away with it as a priest or a god is to make sure that there's nobody with any teeth or claws who can get to him. But everybody knows what his intentions are, because if he's willing to kill, the most defenseless we are is outside the womb when we're first born. It doesn't get any more defenseless than that. Yeah, at least when we're in the womb, we have a barrier. We have, we're in a shock absorber. We're in a nutrient tank. There's a filter going on. I mean, it's warm. It's comfy, man. That's right. Is it healthy to go out? Because what happens if the baby gets cold inside the womb? Will it die? Or will a woman's temperature rise? Jeez, man, if I was a mad scientist, I would actually test that. But I like to sleep cool. I don't like to sleep sweaty. I don't like that, man. I can't do it. I wake up and it just bothers me. When I was a child, I could do it. Because I went hard, and of course, just sleep. You wake up in a pool of sweat. It's just the way it is, man, when it's 90 degrees at night. Yeah. Let's find false. Oh, I'm going to find evil. Let's keep going. I have to invest in some paper. Evil woman. Gonna get some legal paper here. ABC, experimental, grounded upon experiment, a proof or trial wherein the senses are judges of the truth of it. That's right. When somebody testifies, that's an experiment. It's a trial. That's right, man. So the experiment that Schiff and Nadler put on failed miserably, man. That experiment, their trial, they're bringing forth their proof. My senses judged it as not true. It was false. Judges of the truth of it. Yeah, man. Exordium, a beginning and entrance. Exordium. Exordium, a beginning and entrance. Welcome to my exordium. I've got an exordium. In the exordium. It was water. In the beginning was the thought. A woman executing the same powers. Excutrix. Executrix. What's going on, man? Executrix. A woman exercising the same powers as what? I'm going to say powers with a capital P means that they're referring to the masculine. Man's powers. La 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 la. There's more inference back then. Eviscerate. To unbow or to draw out the bowels. Eviscerate. 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 Eviscerate became eviscerate. Eviscerate. I guess they felt it hard to put an S up against a C back then. To unbowel. Eviscerate. Evil. We have to eviscerate the evil. Right, Mr. Northam? Evade. Eviction. Evenly. Evenly even. Evenly even is a number which an even number may measure by an even number, as 64 is evenly even. Evenly even. God, just imagine if I said that today to somebody, they'd be like, fuck you, man, you ignorant bastard. As 64 is evenly even. Because 16, which is an even number, measures it by 4, which is an even number also. Evenly odd. Evenly odd as 30, which is 2 or 6 even numbers, do measure by 15 or 5 odd ones. Wah, 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 wah. You're evenly odd, evenly even, evenly odd numbers, evenly even numbers. Oh, wow, that's cool as shit, man. They're using words I never used. Evil. Ah, fuck, it's 2 pages, you dicks. I have to do both sides. Wah, wah, wah. 92, 93. No. 192, 193. Oops. Didn't like that, did you, Mr. Computer? My computer called me dumb. Print. All right. Mischievous. Hurtful. Whence the king's evil. Mischievous. Hurtful. To try to hurt somebody by pretending to be hurt is evil. Yeah, social justice warriors running around they're being hurtful to people. That's evil. Social justice warriors are evil according to this dictionary from 1600. Evidence. Purposefully, plain plans. In law, it is used for any proof either of men or instrument. Plain, plainness, plainness. Purposefully, perspicuity, perspicuity. Well, that's a word I've used never. Perspicuity. Perspicuity. Evil. We're out with evil. Evens. To vanquish or overcome, to convict by law. Evenness. Evans. E-V-I-N-C-E. Evans. To vanquish or overcome. Evans. Wow. That's way cool. Evans. Yeah. E-V-I-N-C-E. Evans. To convict by law or argument. Convict. And to be convicted, convict. Not to be mixed up with Buckshot's Matt. All right. I got to get ready for my next task in life. Thank you, Lord, for allowing this beautiful internet and access to these libraries. Thank you for another breath this morning. Thank you for the coffee that I enjoyed. Thank you for Buckshot's participation. Thank you. Thank you for the United States of America and all the good that I received in 2019. Hell, all the good that I've ever received and I'm going to receive. Thank you. Thank you for your good. Thank you for sending your son this morning to enter my life. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Gentlemen, prepare to defend yourselves.